have a friend in Gary Anderson, and Night Dreams After Dark. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you The World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Deadly virus spreads among marine mammals as Arctic ice melts. As climate changes worsen, scientists fear the virus, once found only in European waters, could spread to the U.S. West Coast. When sea otters in Alaska were diagnosed with thylacine distemper virus in 2004, scientists were confused. The pathogen in the Marabellus genus that contains viruses like measles had then only been found in Europe and on the eastern coast of North America. We didn't understand how a virus from the Atlantic ended up in these sea otters. It's not a species that ranges widely, says Tracy Goldstein, a scientist at the University of California, Davis, who investigates how pathogens move through marine ecosystems. Using 15 years of data from 2001 to 2016, Goldstein and her research team were able to see upticks in PDV that corresponded with declines in Arctic sea ice. This new range for otters likely allowed infected animals to move west into new territories where the virus had not appeared before. The results of the study, published in many scientific reports, shows how climate change may be opening up new pathways for disease to spread. Also, alien life could be more common than we thought, scientists say. Alien life could be more common than we thought, according to scientists, but any extraterrestrial life out in the universe is likely to inhabit a very different star system very far away, the researchers conclude. The new study looked at a theoretical twin of Earth and explored how it might fit in with the binary star system. Unlike our own solar system, such places have planets that revolve around two stars. They found out that in 87% of these cases, those planets should be tilted similarly to Earth. That, in turn, is thought to be an ingredient for a climate that favors the birth of complex life like ourselves or aliens. Those star systems are found throughout the universe, suggesting that at least some of them could serve as home for planets where alien life looks up to see two suns in the sky. Single star systems, like the one we live in, actually appear more rarely. Also, are ghosts a sign that we live in a simulation? And this is also a new theory that's coming around also. Two scientists have put forward the intriguing yet disturbing notion that we may all be living in a matrix. The idea that mankind could be living in a computer simulation was explored at length in a science fiction novel, Matrix. But just how plausible is this concept? If we were living in a simulated reality, would we even be able to tell the difference? It's an idea that was recently discussed by many university professors whose research has focused on the concept of reality and how we perceive it. When you think of a computer simulations, we've already made some pretty extreme technological leaps within a relatively short space of time. Look at today's video games and compare them to Pong. Imagine what sort of worlds it will be possible to generate thousands of years from now. Sooner or later, we won't even be able to tell the difference between simulation and reality. It's an idea that has been proposed before, notably by SpaceX CEO Elon Musk, who maintains that there is an extremely high chance that we are currently living within a computer simulation. According to Professor Guin, we may have even seen evidence of this already. Glitches in the system, he said, deja vu, such as in the Matrix movie, when the character sees a cat crossing a doorway repeatedly. Maybe one glitch, ghosts another one. ESP, coincidences, may be others. The laws of physics in our universe seem peculiarly designed with a set of constants that make carbon-based life possible. Where are the edges? Perhaps in the far future, mankind uses such simulations to experience periods of history or to experience the human condition in a way that is no longer possible at that time. Alternatively, perhaps like in the movie, it serves a function as some sort of prison for the mind. It has even been suggested that there could exist simulations within simulations, meaning that when you wake up in one, you are actually still in a simulation from a higher up the chain of realities. When you really think about the possibilities, it's easy to end up tying your brain in knots. The next news break will be tomorrow night or Monday evening.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Our guest tonight is Irena Scott. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Ryan on talking about UFO reports and sightings across the country. Irena, I got to ask you a question. What got you into working for the government? What made you choose that? Because you went to veterinary school. What got you from that into working for the government? That's out of curiosity.
That was before I got my PhD from the School of Vet Medicine. I had wanted to be an astronomer, and I had tried to get into. I majored in astronomy for a while, and started looking for jobs, and they were all male only, and so I couldn't get into it. And so I tried the next best thing that they'd let females in, and that was mapping or cartography. And I did get a job in that, and they were mapping other planets, but they didn't put me in that mapping other planets. Instead, they put me in the mapping Earth. And so I transferred to the DIA, and I was in a position of like photogrammetry or photoanalysis, where we worked. It was called Air Order of Battle, and it was where we worked on satellite photography and figured out which you looked down from the satellite and saw airports and things, and they kept track of all the airplanes everywhere. I mean, I just worked in one particular area, but our basic job was identifying all the aerial objects that the satellite photographed.
Interesting. Now, what got you into writing about UFOs?
That was many years later. What got me into writing was I'd been interested because I'd had these sightings, and it wasn't something I was in science, and you don't go around saying, "Oh, I see UFOs," if you're a scientist. But after a while, I decided to come out of the UFO closet and say something. And since we'd had sightings, and I'd had other with other people, so I knew I wasn't insane, I was interested in trying to figure out what was going on and things like that. And so I started writing about them. Also, I was the director of publications for a while for the MUFON organization, Mutual UFO group, and I had and I was an editor for another UFO magazine, and I'd written a lot and done investigating a lot. And they had a lot of things written, and so I thought, and then I looked at it, and I thought, there's a topic, and it took me a while to write it, and after a while I did.
Okay, Irene, something is going with on your phone or nothing. We're hearing, it sounds like rubbing type of noise or something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear what I said?
No, not really.
Well, I had been writing about UFOs for a while because I was an editor for several things, and I had and I also had been investigating with other people, and I had a lot written up. And one day I just looked over everything and thought, there's a book. And eventually got it organized and wrote several books.
So that kept you busy. Now, how about, you also helped write Calvin's last book?
Uh-huh.
Now, you did investigation with Calvin. It's been some very credible people on abductions. I don't know if you heard of Terry Lovelace, but he's a former attorney general, a lawyer in Texas, and he had an encounter where he was taken aboard, him and his buddy, on a UFO. And I'll tell you what, he had a very bad experience, even worse than what Calvin went through. But I don't know. Just talking to Calvin and talking to these other people, I get the impression these aliens or humanoids or whatever they are not caring about humans.
Yeah, I just don't have, I've studied UFOs for a while, and I just don't have any understanding whatsoever of anything about them. And as you were talking about, somebody was talking about the Matrix or something. I took a course from Dartmouth several years ago about reality and whether people actually understand reality or whether you are in a matrix. And there's really no way to tell. So I think things are pretty confusing, and I don't know. Some people say they have UFO experiences and they're space brothers and saving humanity, and other people have bad experiences, and I just don't know.
I don't know. I sometimes wonder if we are living in the Matrix. I don't know if we are or not, but I tell you, we could all be just nothing more than a hologram or a computer running, maybe some alien is running a, alien kid is running a program, and we're just alive on nothing more than some type of hologram computer. I don't know. That'd be scary, though. Whatever it is, it sure gives you the sensation of being alive if we are. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and what you wonder is what's running it, a computer or something that's alive? You think, well, a living being is running our matrix, but you never know. It might be a computer. It's pretty scary.
Well, maybe it's a doomsday thing, because I already believe, at least my beliefs are, that we have been rebooted 2 or 3 times on our planet. And maybe one of these supercomputers, going back who knows how long ago, is running a simulation of a human